baby.
Wow. Monetizing your video about being stalked. This is why people can't trust you. Why would you monetize your story?
Hey guys, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a good day. This is not a normal video, and I realize it's going to be a little bit convoluted, and I'm probably not going to be able to answer every question that people have, but there's been a lot that's been going on in the community related to me, and it just feels like it would be completely ridiculous for me to ignore this. It would be completely ridiculous for me to ignore this, but I also need to respect the fact that we are now in a position where there are multiple agencies, including lawyers and police and the FBI, including lawyers and police and the FBI investigating. And so I obviously can't share everything, but I did want to just tell people my side of the story.
Don't you think that you might have shared enough already, Katie? I have never I keep saying this, I've never in my life seen anyone tweet as much as you. Information overload. Why do you need to tell everyone this? Why do you think that we care? Yes, you have a bunch of serious stalkers, but they are no way connected to the what you like to call the anti-KJ community. Your body language tells the truth, Katie, but not you. You lie to yourself more than you lie to anyone else. So here we go, pity party.
Just what I've learned. So everyone knows that I went through a lawsuit, and it was actually it's now settled, thank goodness. And there was a lot of misinformation that that was going around at that time. There was a lot of just really wild accusations, and there was just a lot of people that were trying to insert themselves into the suit, which created a lot of chaos, and it created a lot of undue stress. Undue stress for me.
When lawyers on YouTube were reading out the court files, you couldn't even handle that. You were shaking in your boots, wanting to sue everyone. Even your lawyer wanted out because he told you to stop, and you did not stop the whole entire time. Even though the judge told you not to delete anything, you were constantly deleting stuff. You still do. If you're not strong enough as a woman to stand behind your words, pathetic.
I was always confident that the lawsuit would settle, or we would be able to, come to a resolution. I never believed that it would go all the way, and thankfully we did settle. And honestly, I have been so happy about that. I think everyone involved was so glad to be able to put this aside. There truly is
I'm sure they were so glad. Your generic words for emotions, for expressions. You are so basic.
Say this, absolutely no hard feelings between me and the other parties, and it's been healing for me. To have that part and that chapter closed. But there's this lingering aspect that has been stuck, and it has really tarnished my reputation, and it's made me feel like I don't have a voice on this platform, and it's made me feel like no matter what I say or do, people say that I'm an evil, terrible person. And it's hard because for months people have been making really big accusations against me, and no matter what I say and do, it's like I've been gaslit. Like, people don't believe.
I want to be in a world where I don't hear you use the word narrative, literally, or gaslit, or weaponize. I'm over it.
That actually this happened. So to help you understand what happened,
yes, help me
and I don't want to have to
understand.
bring all the receipts. I think there's enough videos out there that you might be able to.
You have never brought receipts in your life, ever.
find something on YouTube. But there was a woman named Natalie that basically inserted herself into the lawsuit. And she alleged that I was hacking her and sending threats.
Why did you have to swallow there? That is very telling. And this is what I mean, Katie. You're just so unaware of what your body is saying when your words are saying something else.
And doing all of these different things. And she also was alleging that we had this like years long relationship, and we were she was claiming things about my marriage that just were like not true, like that my husband was not a good dad and that he was doing things to my son. And we had CPS at our house multiple times. So the first time CPS came to our house, it was in, I think, the fall, and it was after a channel named T-Spiracy put out a video. In the video,
yes, just direct people to the video. You're so good like that, Katie. You really do help your subs.
The sound of a live stream I had done on Instagram. And during my live stream, my son was upstairs.
The scary part was KJ. No expression, no worry, like everything's normal, no emotional reaction, no maternal instinct, nothing. Blank face the whole time.
And I was downstairs and he was sleeping. He was trying to go to sleep. And my husband had had a really long day. He had been upstairs in our bedroom for hours with our dog because I was really stressed out that day. During the lawsuit, I had a lot of really tough, like stressed out days where I felt like I was going to lose it, you know, and he was just trying to keep the dog away from me so that I could work. And after being with the dog all day, trying to keep her safe.
But you weren't working. You had finished work, and this was your IG live that you do every night over a couple of glasses of wine. And you knew your husband was frustrated. You knew this, but still you decided to stream live. And not only that, you kept recording. It's your fault, Katie. The footage wouldn't be out there if you hadn't continued on your IG live. So stop blaming the people that are actually sharing your IG live because you deleted it. Because you're sus like that.
Happy, and then having my son struggling to go to bed. My son, who happens to have autism, had a little bit of a meltdown, and he told his daddy to get away from him. And he's a kid, right? So they amplified it to make it sound like.
Does anyone else find it a bit weird that right up until she started talking about Nat and her son, she was talking perfectly straight into the camera. As soon as she starts talking about Nat and this video, she's trying to come up with lies. She's looking around, looking up and down. There is some truth to communication between Nat and KJ, in my opinion.
Like my husband, he said that like he punched my son, which didn't happen. I will just.
Have you listened to the video, Katie, without getting angry? Actually just sat there and listened? It sounds exactly like everyone says. Toad gets angry, like stomping up those stairs, terrifying the child before he even enters the room, opening the door, slamming it, screaming, "Why the aren't you asleep yet?" To a child having an autistic meltdown, if it's so common, why is he yelling at him? You can hear your child scream, and still you sit there with a blank face just staring into the camera. It was you time that night, wasn't it, Katie? This is me time, you know. I've got to have my 2 glasses of wine and hang out with my stranger friends on the internet. Every night I dedicate my life to them. Not my son. Once the sun goes down, that's it. Todd, you take care of it. I am the breadwinner of this family, and I will take this time to sit in my drinking chair, and I will yell at people, and I will block people, and I will misconstrue the situation. I will make up My own, here we go, one of the winning words. I'll make up my own narrative.
A lot of times when he's upset, just says, "Don't touch me." And I think he gets that from me, to be honest. I hate to be touched when I'm angry. And he does not like to be touched when he's angry. And we have never, ever, ever used anything with our hands. No belts, no objects, nothing. He has never been spanked, nothing. So it was very jarring to me that a simple moment of my son having a little bit of a meltdown would turn into this video, which proceeded to get people very riled up. Shortly thereafter, we started getting calls to CPS.
I thought that it was your niece. She called CPS. Who else? Probably the trolls. It's got to be the trolls. It's always the trolls. I am Katie Joy and I got all these fans and all these haters. Everybody can't stop thinking about me. They just can't stop thinking about me. They're jealous and they want to be like me. They wish they had everything that I have. Yeah, right, Katie, in your dreams.
So CPS showed up at our house in the fall after this video went out, and they referenced why they were there. They said that they had seen a video on YouTube that had sounds that made it sound like my husband was doing something to my son, which we now know is the video that T-Spiracy put on her channel, which she still will not to this day.
It's also the video where you did not get off the live. You did not end it. You continued it. So this video would not even exist, Katie, if you had just pressed end. No, you were the one who wanted to film it. So deal with the consequences.
Remove. They came, they interviewed us, they interviewed my son's nurses, and everything turned out to be false. They said it was unfounded. They said there was no evidence of anything, and they basically just closed it.
Why are you burping?
We told them that I was a public figure, and they noted that. And they said, you know, as long as you're doing what you're doing, don't worry about it. Well, everything will be fine. So then I had a really tough time, and there was one night that I was feeling like I might end my life, and that night someone did show up and the cops did come, but the cops came besides that. So I'm not going to fault someone for contacting the police if they feel like I'm not safe, but there was cops that showed up here again a couple months ago, and it was snowing, and it was two deputies, and they said, we received a 7-page report from Hennepin County. I don't live in Hennepin County, so whoever contacted, they went to the wrong county. The city I live in is in between two counties. And so they said, Hennepin County received this, it was sent to us, and we just have to follow up. And this report included that you and your husband are doing things to your son. They accused me of having Munchausen's by proxy. And they said that my husband had.
Why did she lick her lips after she said MBP? Which, if you don't know, sticking your tongue out, a disconnect from her mind. Why would you break the thought pattern? Because she's lying?
Again, using the same video, claiming that my husband had punched my son. Obviously, having spoken to them, I again explained to them what was going on.
Has she ever taken accountability for the fact that the video exists because she did not press stop? While I'm here, I have to say, yes, Katie, I feel so bad for you with these select few people that have gone after you. Well, really done your own thing, haven't they? Crossed boundaries. Violated your privacy. Threatened you. Death threats. I feel for you. No one should have to go through that shit. I need you to say to your audience that the select few people that have been stalking you are not part of the, what you like to call, the anti-KJ community. There's bad nuts in every bag. So a few people were really fucking dark and took it too far. Does not mean that you can group everyone in with those people. Because there is a reason, Katie, that we exist. We were once subscribed to you. We saw you do some up shit. And we just want people that are following you to know what they're getting into.
Says actually he wants people to think that Dustin had a look at his account. So now she's talking about how she says that Salts is basically threatening people and that she has Dustin digging into his accounts to see whether or not he has, like, what his money situation is like. And she said, oh yes, because I was worried sick. And she said, and then question mark, and she said, step by step to hire a hitman basically would be $50,000. So she was trying to convince Natalie that Salts was going to hire a hitman, I guess, that if she didn't comply with Salts, that he would hire this hitman and hurt.
This screenshot could be about anything. Why should we believe that it's about Katie? For God's sake. You know what I've been saying? I might have said this on my live. Because her whole family relies on the income of her channel, what lengths would she go to make sure that she does not lose it? How far would she go? I reckon pretty far.
Nat and these other channels believing these people. Another creator that made a lot of videos about me was Natalie from Truth Sleuth, who I have asked her to stop. She defended me yesterday, but still degraded me and called me terrible names. And it's really hard right now for me to have.
Grow the up. Get some thick skin. You talk about people all day, every day for your channel. You talk about other people. You speculate. You make your speculations news, exclusives. So when people do it back to you, you can't take it. Don't dish it out if you can't take it, Katie. And what are you? 15? 13? You're the oldest out of everyone. You're older than Tati. You're attacking people. Grow up.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.